Building a well house. We're gonna make it super nice. Kids helped me pour this. Whole family helped me pour this concrete. I'm having trouble with this here camera. It was nice. We had the whole kids involved. We have a cement mixer. It's a 10 by 16 pad. Mixed up about 100 bags of concrete. You know, we had 2 kids pouring concrete into buckets and a couple more kids hauling water, and Ashton was troweling off the concrete, making it smooth. Wife was on the tractor dumping it. It was nice. You know, what a blessing to have a family where everybody just pitches in and works together. You know, and as I was working this morning, I was thinking about my Christian neighbors. You know, Christianity is a farce today. And these people are so miserable. And I noticed that it's because the wives rule everything. You know, the wives are in control of the households now. And those households are the most miserable households of all. And that's the present state of Christianity, you know, because the church is the bride. And the church is hell-bent on telling the Lord what he needs to do and how he needs to do it. And, you know, and it's exemplified by the prayers of people. You know, not praying after the Lord's will, but praying after their own. And I was thinking, you know, when I build, I go out of my way to do these things that my wife wants done, because it really pleases me to please her. You know, she's worthy of that because she's a godly woman. And she made a lot of sacrifices to do what I wanted her to do. You know, I took a lot away from her. I took away her holidays. I took away birthdays. I took away her freedom because I refused to allow my kids to be in public school system because I didn't want them to learn drugs, sex, and rock and roll, which is what I learned. You know, I took away a lot of things, stuff, you know, stuff that wasn't godly. Yeah, I took because I was cleansing my house, you know, and my wife reaps the benefits now. She sees how that her life has been blessed by simple obedience to her husband. And we don't have friends because I'm not willing. Well, not a lot of friends. We have a couple. But that's because I'm not willing to sacrifice what's right to go along and get along, you know? And I took a lot of. My wife doesn't have any friends because of it. So it's a life of solitude, but you know what? Me and my wife are best friends. And we have a truly blessed relationship, and it works the way it's supposed to. And I look at my neighbors, my Christian neighbors, how their wives rule over them. And these poor guys, they can't do anything right, and they don't realize they're digging their own grave. You know, because working for your wife is like working for the flesh. You know, you give it an inch and it's not content with a mile. Because the more you give into the flesh, the more it wants, and it's never satisfied. And that's what it's like to work for your wife. You know, your wife needs to work for you. That's how the Lord set it up. You know, Paul commended Paul commended Sarah for going so far as to call Abraham Lord. You know, because that's the Christian, the marriage is supposed to represent the church's relationship to Jesus Christ. And the church is servant to Christ. Christ is not the servant to the church. You know, sure, Christ washed the feet of the apostles, but it was to make them worthy of being his bride. So, you know, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to wash our wives because they're the weaker flesh. And you wash them with the word of God, and you pray with them, and you lead them gently by the way. You know, I didn't come in to this marriage just thundering a bunch of commands and this and that. No, I explained to my wife what was right, and I prayed with her, you know, and I wasn't a taskmaster, sister. I was a companion. And after we exercised what was right, the Lord blessed us, and my wife, she's content now, and she has a joyful life because she reaps the blessings of just being faithful in little, which is what we aim to do, is just be faithful in little things. The Lord doesn't give us more, doesn't ask us to do more than we're able, right? So I kind of pity these Christians, these Christian men that, you know, I don't respect men that are servants to their wife. I have no respect for them at all because the Lord doesn't have respect for them. You know, that's a pathetic way to live. And there's no blessing in that. And if you're one of these guys, you know that. You know that. Because anybody I know that lives like that is miserable. You know, and they don't have anything either. Because the woman is the weaker flesh. The Lord doesn't give the woman wisdom and knowledge in a relationship. He gives it to the man. And when the man sacrifices that to have an easy life, you know, just celebrating the Christmas and the Valentine's Day and all these wicked holidays because the wife wants to have it, you know, happy wife, happy life. You know, when the man sacrifices that which is right to please his wife, he becomes a slave to sin. And you know, the Lord doesn't respect that man at all. So you want your nation to be right. You want Christianity to be right. It starts in your household. You need to have your house in order. And you need to stop worshiping your wife. And you need to start worshiping the Lord and doing what's right. And leading by example. And not being a lapdog husband that the Lord abhors. And that's the key to a happy life.